Hello fellow Gothamites, welcome back to my channel, and today is Gotham City Chronicles board game time. And this time our mission takes us to the subway levels of Gotham City, where Black Mask took some hostages and works on his evil scheme. Let's first take a look at the mission we will be playing today. Good cop, bad cop. So essentially the mission for the heroes is to collect 4 evidence before the end of game round 6. They have to hack 1 computer, interrogate 1 corrupt GCPD SWAT team member, save at least 1 hostage, and collect a briefcase that the 2 bosses are carrying and pick the lock of the briefcase to open it. Of course, they have to defeat a boss before, so that they will drop the briefcase. The villains can prevent this while destroying all the 5 computers or killing all the 4 hostages. Let's take a look at the 2 bosses today. For this time, the heroes have to face Clayface and probably the mastermind behind all of this, Black Mask. Let's take a look at our chosen 3 heroes for today. Filling out the first slot, it's Green Arrow. Filling out the second hero slot, it's Harvey Bullock again. And last but not least, it's Renee Montoya. Okay, let's take a look at their equipment. Montoya, she is armed with a sniper rifle and she's also equipped with hacking equipment to be prepared for the computers. Following her are some officers. Now Harvey Bullock. He is equipped with his trusty service gun. Following him are some Arkham guards, and he's also equipped with lockpicking tools. Maybe he can open the briefcase. And Green Arrow, I chose him due to his versatility. His stats are quite good and well-rounded. But he's only equipped with his trusty bow, so let's see if that was the correct decision. This is how the river for the villain looks. The corrupt SWAT team member is right in front, Black Mask is behind. 11 energy cubes for the villain, and everything is in the ready zone. Let's take a look at the starting positions of our heroes. Green Arrow is starting at an elevated level, which is good for a ranged hero. Renee Montoya, she starts also at an elevated level and she's escorting 1 of the hostages. And at her side are also the 3 officers. Harvey Bullock is right down on the ground level, and he is also escorting a hostage. A quick overview of the board. In the middle, in this little train station or in the train wagon, you see Clayface, and Black Mask is hiding in a room with 2 of his guys and a computer. And now let's take a look where the 2 remaining hostages are. So right at the end of the map is 1 hostage, and in this little room here, right next to a computer, is the other hostage. The 2 remaining hostages are escorted and protected by our 2 GCPD officers. Okay, game round 1. The villain activates the SWAT team members for 1 energy cube. He moves the first one and tries to shoot at 1 of the Arkham guards. They are killed with 2 successes, so let's see. That's enough to kill 1, but Harvey decides to defend for 1 of the guards, but he rolls no success, so the first guard is killed. The next SWAT team member in the wagon moves and tries the same, but he completely whiffs. The third SWAT team member tries to shoot at the police officers, where René Montoya is. It's just one hit, so it isn't enough, and the SWAT team member moves again to protect, to hide. And the last team member tries to shoot the hostage. 2 hits are enough, 3 is more than enough, and the first hostage is killed. 3 are remaining. A short notice for the mission. They cannot shoot the hostages because for this mission all the hostages have the protected 2 skill. So if at least 2 hero miniatures are in the same area than a hostage, the villain guy cannot shoot at the hostages. For his movement, the villain player spends 2 energy cubes and moves the SWAT team member all along out of this little room into the room where also Black Mask is. For the second activation, the villain player spends 2 energy cubes to activate Clayface. He moves Clayface out of the wagon onto the railroad tracks right in front of Harvey and his Arkham guards. And still Harvey is protected and the hostage also is protected. Clayface attacks one of the Arkham guards. He has 2 attacks with 2 orange die. The first attack completely misses. The second attack scores 4 hits, which is more than enough to eliminate one of the Arkham guards. That's it for the villain turn 1. Let's start with the hero turn 1. Now it's the hero's turn and Montoya activates the GCPD officers. And I take a risky move and move them away from the hostage to get in line of sight to Clayface and shoot. But then I realized I did a mistake. Because in the following actions with the GCPD officers, I take shooting actions and use the reroll support ability for Montoya, but she's not in the area, so I should have moved her first. Then I would be able to use the ability. That's a bummer, but sorry for that. So continue with the shooting action from the first officer. He whiffs, but with rerolls he causes 1 wound to Clayface. Clayface has armor 3, so I have to roll at least 4 hits. And Clayface tries to defend and successfully defends. The next officer tries the same. He shoots only 2 hits, but with the rerolls it's only 2 hits. The third officer tries the same. He shoots and he needs at least 4 hits. With a reroll he gets the 4 hits and causes 1 wound, the first wound to Clayface. So now it's Montoya's turn. So next Montoya moves for free. She uses her sniper rifle to take a shot at Clayface. Only 2 hits. That's not enough to break the armor, so she has actual rerolls and she scores 4 hits. That's enough to generate 1 wound. Then she spends some more energy cubes for the next range attack. 2 more, which generate only 2 wounds, but 2 hits, but she has reroll. I decide to reroll the 1 red and 1 orange. Oh no, I decide to reroll all of them. And that is a good hit. So my opponent tries some armor rolls for Clayface, only 1. So then another wound for Clayface. Now Harvey activates, and the next risky move, he activates the remaining Arkham guard. He leaves the area with the hostage to attack the wounded Clayface, but he only scores 2 hits. That's not enough. Now it's Harvey's turn. With his point blank ability, he tries to finally take the giant down. I spend all cubes I can spend on the range attack. I score 4 hits, which would cause 1 wound, but Harvey has some rerolls. The first wave of rerolls misses, but yeah, the second also, so it's only 4 hits, which causes 1 wound to Clayface. Now it's Green Arrow's turn. He decides to put the giant down finally, spends 1 energy cube for movement to get onto the ground level. This area generates line of sight to Clayface, and yeah, I spend all 3 cubes I can plus the bow to finally put the giant down. The orange die I can reroll due to the bow, and I decide that's not enough. I have to reroll 1 of the red die to generate more hits, and yeah, that seems fine. 6 hits. My opponent tries to defend, but he can defend, so finally, after all this effort, I put down Clayface for good. So now we can spawn the briefcase at the area of the dead Clayface, and maybe I can pick the lock of the briefcase. But now it's villain turn 2. And let's see if my risky move will be punished. So that's the villain recovers some energy cubes, and he decides to activate the SWAT members again for 6 energy cubes. That's a lot, but he sees that my risky move, leaving the hostages alone, was maybe a mistake, and he tries to take them out this turn, ending the game in round 2. So he activates the first and shoots at the hostage and completely whiffs. Okay, that was lucky. The next SWAT team member tries the same, and unbelievably he whiffs also. So my opponent tries to spend 2 rerolls on this shooting action and takes out the next hostage. So 2 SWAT members left. The next one tries to shoot at the lonely hostage and also completely whiffs. What a lucky guy I am. So I'm the last SWAT team member. Unbelievably, he also whiffs. So I am still in the game. Lucky me. So still 2 hostages remaining, and it's my turn 2. I recover some energy cubes. So I decide that Green Arrow will be ready for this turn, so he regenerates 2. Harvey decides to rest this round, so he will not activate this round, and Montoya, she decides to be ready this turn. So the first thing Montoya does is activate the officers and take down some of the SWAT team members. So the first officer shoots, and now I have rerolls from the support ability, but it's not enough, and now I decide to protect the hostage again. The next officer tries to shoot and scores 3 hits. That's enough to take out one of the SWAT team members and move back to protect the hostage. And the third officer tries to shoot but completely misses. And with the reroll, it's still a miss, so the officers are back again to do their duty and their job to protect the hostage. Now it's Green Arrow's turn. He spends 1 energy cube for the shooting action and tries to shoot at the guy in the room with the computer. He scores 3 hits. That's enough to take him out. Then I move Green Arrow into the room and try to hack the computer. I spend all my cubes I can in the manipulate thought action, and I have to score 6 hits. Green Arrow has 5 dice and he can reroll all of them, so I try to maximize my hits, but with the last reroll it's still not enough. So So now it's Montoya's turn. She spends some energy cubes to get down to the ground level. And she tries to interrogate the SWAT team member for the first evidence. She has to score 6 hits in a thought action. And I roll 7 hits, which is enough. And the first evidence is collected. That ends hero turn 2 on to game round 3. And the villain recovers some energy cubes, and he has now 5 available. He decides to dredge the river and get rid of the neutralized tile of Clayface. And then he spends 1 energy cube to activate the brutes. The first brute moves in the next room and tries to take out the 3rd hostage. He rolls enough for taking out the hostage. The second brute moves out of the wagon and attacks 1 Arkham guard. He rolls nothing. The next brute gets out of the room to attack Montoya. The brute rolls 2 hits, and Montoya defends with her orange die for nothing, so she will take 2 wounds. And now the villain decides to activate the event tile to bring back some reinforcements. He gets 5 reinforcement points and spends 4 to bring back 1 brute and 1 SWAT member. Now on to hero's turn 3. Montoya decides she has to rest, so she will not be active this round. Harvey Bullock decides he is well rested and will be ready for action this round. And Green Arrow needs a rest. So only Harvey active this round. Harvey activates the last remaining Arkham guard to attack the brute. He needs 3 successes and gets some rerolls from Harvey. And he's able to defeat the brute. So the briefcase is now ready for lockpicking. Harvey tries and he spends 4 energy cubes for a manipulate action. He needs 6 successes, but he gets 1 for free from the lockpicking tools. He rolls, and that's exactly enough to collect the second evidence for the heroes. Now on to turn 4 for the villains. The villain player recovers some energy cubes, and then he decides to activate the thugs with the crowbar for 1 cube. The first thug moves into a room with a computer and tries to destroy it. He needs 3 successes and is successful. First computer destroyed. The next thug tries the same. He needs 3 successes. He gets some rewards from Black Mask and he needs them. And he's successful destroying the second computer. The next thug moves and tries to attack the officers. He needs 2 successes. He has some rerolls, but that's not enough. And the last thug also moves, tries to beat down some officers. He needs 2 successes, but he's not able to roll 2 hits. For the next tile activation, the villain player decides to activate the brutes with shotguns. Since he has to take down the hostages, he moves the first brute with shotgun and tries to shoot at the officers. He rolls 4 successes. That will take down the first officer. The next brute activates and also shoots at the officers. That's not enough. So the next brute tries the same. That's enough to kill the next officer. So now the hostage is not protected anymore. The last brute tries to take down the last hostage with a shotgun and shoots. That's the blank. The villain has to take the hostage out, so he uses a reroll. And that kills the last hostage, and the villains win the game. The heroes were not successful. Black Mask triumphs in round 4. So in the end, my risky move to leave the hostages alone to take out Clayface was not successful. I should have moved one hostage maybe in this train wagon, so she can't be shot at. And the next hostage also just in this space, so it's harder to take line of sight to this space, and she will be protected. So maybe that were the most crucial mistakes I made in the game. Yeah, it's sad for the heroes, but I think besides that, I was able to win the game because I collected 2 evidence. I just had to protect the last hostage, and with Green Arrow he was able to hack the computer in the room next round, so that could win me the game. But yeah, it's hard for the heroes in this game. Every mistake will be punished, but it's fun. It's a fun game. I love it. So yeah, that's that. So thank you for watching this video, this battle report. We did some mistakes, but in the end I think the mistakes don't have such an impact on the game. I really like the hero composition. I chose Green Arrow instead of, for example, James Gordon, because I thought his skills would come in handy. He's very versatile, and I think ranged heroes in this mission particularly are helpful, but Green Arrow also has some good abilities for manipulate and thought, so I was very satisfied with the heroes I chose. I really like this mission, and yeah, a lot of tactic, and every mistake will be punished, but it's the spirit of the game for the heroes. And yeah, if you had fun, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope we see us next time when there is still a shadow over Gotham.